We're here at MSI's booth checking out some awesome hardware. Stand by, there's going to be a really good surprise, but let's kick this off with the GT76 Titan. I know it is a beast of a laptop. It's an interesting category because I've seen some beasts of a laptop, and this may be the ultimate. You can see the bottom of this sucker. The reason why this is probably going to be the fastest laptop that you're going to see around is it has a desktop processor. Yes, 9th gen Core i9 9900K, 8 core. And you're going, Gordon, Alienware's already got that in the Area 51. Yeah, but you know what? MSI says they don't have the cooling we do. We can take that 9900K with the cooling we have in the GT76 Titan and run all cores at 5 gigahertz from the factory. I will tell you, I know, how do you do that? Let me tell you, I've tested the Alienware. It's a great laptop. You're not going to get all core 5 gigahertz for a long time on that laptop. MSI saying 5 gigahertz, all cores, full gaming sessions, no problemo. The reason is this. Let's look at this. This is a cooling system in the GT76 Titan. I can't even count how many heat pipes it is. You can see they're dedicated for the CPU, the GPU. MSI tells me 200 watt TDP budget for the GPU and 85 to 150 watts for that Core i9 9900K. So 5 gigahertz from the factory, entirely doable. And there's even more hardware in here. Of course, the rest of the stuff you already know of. RTX 2080, 3 NVMe M.2s, a 2.5-inch bay if you really want a gigantic hard drive in there as well. There's 2 trims for the 17.3-inch panel. If you want your high frame rates, 1080p, 144 hertz, IPS level. And number 2, if you want your resolution, which you probably can run with an RTX card, a 17.3-inch UHD 4K panel, 60 hertz, IPS level. Of course, all of this performance not going to be light. We're looking at about 10 pounds. There's the standard 2-brick power supply. You're not going to run a desktop Core i9 with a 2080 on 1 power brick. Not going to happen unless you do one of those Eurocom 800 watt power bricks. So 2 power bricks is what it is. Laptop itself, 10 pounds, 90 watt hour battery, which is not a bad idea. You're probably not going to get great battery life, but 90 watt hours you'll get okay when you're not gaming. Again, 5 gigahertz all cores. This thing was basically made to dethrone the Area 51M. I want to see if it can do it. Price range, $3,600 to maybe $4,800 depending on the options, and a lot of clock speeds. But there's also other stuff too, and that's this. The talk of the show, this is MSI's MEG X570 Godlike. Of course, it is an AM4 motherboard for AMD's Ryzen 3000 series. Let's get that right. Zen 2 based Ryzen 3000 series. It's not powered up right now, but there's a cool little OLED. There's LEDs here, 3 M.2 slots. The top one hooked directly up to the PCIe Gen 4 lanes in the CPU is by 4. If you look under that little vent, there is a fan. Now, everything I've heard, not from MSI, but other vendors, is X570 is going to be a hot chipset. I've heard everywhere from 11 to 16 watts for that. Makes sense. PCIe Gen 4 is looking like a lot of heat from that.
That's why you got that nice pipe going up.
Yes, and of course, you've got pretty decent VRMs. You've got the Frozer cooling borrowed from the GPU side just to keep it cool. And AMD fans, if you're used to your low prices from all previous AMD family CPU systems, you need to sit down. This motherboard's probably going to be north of $500 because it is a premium motherboard. I know you're going, that is a lot of money for an AMD motherboard, but you got to remember, AMD is stepping out of somebody's shadow these days. And there are people who want very high-end motherboards to go with the very high-end 12-core Ryzen chips. So MSI says, hey, we got it for you. You want the X570 Godlike high premium. They do have motherboards that will reach down into the normal, semi-normal pricing of $200, but there will actually be very high-end offerings for Ryzen that we have not seen before, so don't complain. The real surprise though, and probably the coolest thing I've seen so far at Computex, is this. It is a curved case to go with your curved monitor. Yes, I know, I have this problem. If you have a curved monitor and you have a flat system, you can't put them up against each other. So with the curved case and curved monitor, you can finally get that perfect circle. Put a curved monitor on both sides of your curved system in the middle. It's pretty crazy. MSI just said, hey, this is kind of fun. People like curved monitors, maybe they'll like curved cases. They will be selling this case hopefully this year. No pricing, but look at it. This is pretty awesome, right? Because if you've got a curved monitor or three, why not have a curved system to go with it?